3 miners have been confirmed dead at the Sibanye-Stillwater's Kloof Ikamva mine at a shaft, specifically at Westonaria in Gauteng on the West Rand. According to a statement issued by the company, the employees had entered an abandoned workplace. Rescue teams have been called in and are now searching apparently for 2 other mine workers. Our reporter Maakgeketla Mohlabe is at the mine. He joins us now. Maakgeketla, what can you tell us?
A very good afternoon to you, Francis. Once again, we come back to Sibanye-Stillwater mine after that incident, the seismic event that took place just early last month when 7 miners were trapped under that particular shaft and eventually lost their lives, 6 of them having been taken to hospital. So we are back here on the West Rand after another incident where we hear that about 3 miners lost their lives after they went to an abandoned area, according to the mine officials, and we are still awaiting for 2 others to be rescued or brought to the surface if they survived. But just to tell us more about that particular incident that we understand it took place early this morning, we are joined by Sibanye-Stillwater spokesperson Tabisile Pumbo. Ma'am, thanks so much for joining us. Could you just tell us in detail what exactly happened this morning?
Okay, good. Thank you so much and good evening to your viewers. Just after 11 o'clock today, we had a mine incident where about 5 employees were found to have gone into an abandoned area. Unfortunately, we regret to advise that out of the 5 employees, 3 were retrieved and declared deceased. Rescue missions are underway to try to locate the other 2 employees who were part of that team.
As you mentioned that this was an abandoned area, why would they actually go there? How easy was it to access this area?
At this point, investigations are underway. I'm not in a position to speculate. I think it's important that we don't speculate about what happened because the facts have not yet been determined. Our focus is obviously on the rescue mission. I can confirm that the Department of Mineral Resources are already on site, who obviously we will be working with to begin the investigation into this incident. The focus right now is obviously on dealing with the families and the colleagues of the deceased, but also continuing with the rescue missions to make sure that we retrieve the other 2 employees who are still unaccounted for.
Reports during the rounds are saying that they actually died of gas inhalation. How true is this?
Again, I wish to reiterate that the investigation is underway. What we can confirm is obviously they went into an abandoned area, which obviously did not have ventilation. And at this point, indications are that they have died of heat exhaustion. But again, it's only once the investigation has been concluded that we'll be in a position to determine the facts around the incident.
But how concerned is the mine at this stage, considering that, as I mentioned earlier on, just last month we were here, 13 miners trapped, 7 of them lost their lives and 6 of them hospitalized. How concerned is the mine, considering this increasing incidence of death by your employees here?
The loss of lives are regrettable. But I can assure you that as Sibanye-Stillwater, safety is our priority. As I'm speaking to you, we have systems, processes and protocols in place to obviously deal with issues around safety. Just around 3 weeks ago, noting that safety is a multi-stakeholder issue, we had a safety summit where we had ourselves, unions and the DMR to try to get to the bottom of the challenges we are currently facing, but to also work together to map a way forward, to ensure that we can return our operations to safety, but also our aspiration remains zero harm. So we are very concerned about the current course of incident, and we are working tirelessly with all our stakeholders to deal with the concerns around safety.
Clearly, you cannot turn a blind eye on this one. It's a huge concern, and it's not only a concern for this company, as well as the citizens of this country, as well as the country as a whole. What measures are you going to take from now on to make sure that things are intact for the safety of these workers?
Again, I wish to reiterate that until we get to the bottom of this, to determine what happened in this incident and learn from this incident to make sure that it is not repeated, we will then be in a position to comment. But as I'm speaking to you right now, I can assure you that as Sibanye-Stillwater, the safety and the well-being of our employees is a priority. And as earlier indicated, this loss of lives are regrettable, and obviously we want to send our deepest condolences to the families, the friends and the colleagues, but we are calling once again, like we did in the previous incident, for all our stakeholders to join us in making sure that we can contain this current situation.
Have you been in touch with the unions, and what are they saying?
We have engaged with the unions. As I'm speaking to you now, we've got unions on site who are working with us every step of the way because they are part, obviously, of the team. We also, as I've indicated earlier, have the DMR on site as I'm speaking to you.
So what's the status? What's the latest now? We know that rescue operations are still underway. Do we know how long this will take? Will it take overnight?
I'm not in a position to speculate. The rescue teams are obviously working tirelessly to make sure that we find the other two colleagues. So we'll give you updates as and when we get information.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, Francis, that's the latest so far. 2 miners are still trapped. We're not sure yet as whether they are still alive or not, but we will definitely keep you posted as the developments continue here at Sibanye-Stillwater Gold Mine on the West Rand. Back to you in studio.
All right, so unfortunately, it looks like the death toll could rise to 5. Thank you, Maakgeketla Mohlabe at Sibanye-Stillwater's Kloof Ikamva shaft in Westonaria. We'll watch that situation closely.